Terrence Bud Crawford, the American fighter, aka Budrick, has already done the unimaginable by becoming the first ever two-time undisputed male champion in the four-belt era. But he's done it again by becoming the first ever 3 times undisputed male champion in the four-belt era. Shout out to Clarissa Shields, you know what I'm talking about? She did it for all the boxing first. But when he did that, he did it in such a incredible fashion because he beat one of my favorite fighters in Saul Canelo Alvarez, you know, aka Cinnamon, the face of boxing, the guy who was the first ever and at that time the only undisputed champion in the 168-pound division. But for some fans, that's not enough. They want him to now take on the Mexican monster, aka David Benavidez, another one of my favorite fighters. They want him to jump up another weight class and do that. And I don't know what he should do, but I don't think he should do that. But I'll tell you what, if he does decide to fight Benavidez, my money's on Bud.
Hello guys, this is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donaire. What's up guys, Designer's Eyes.
We're here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love, thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk, where we are back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I know what time it is. Doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. But before we do, let's go ahead and smack that like button. Let's do it together. Appreciate you. That helps us to keep going and growing on this YouTube platform. BTF, rise up. Now let's get to this information that we have today. It is breaking news that a lot of people, including Turki Alalshikh, suddenly want Terrence Crawford to do the unimaginable, the unthinkable, after already doing the unimaginable and unthinkable. You know, they want him to go up another weight class to 175.
What?
And fight the WBC champion, David Benavidez. Now, you know, we will have David Benavidez, aka the Mexican monster, who's really American, you know, as far as his nationality goes, where he was born. We'd have an American fighter versus an American fighter in Terrence Bud Crawford, but you know, we like the black versus brown and stuff like that to exploit in combat sports. And I'm not opposed to it as long as people act accordingly, you know what I'm saying? Don't get too ridiculous and get your butt kicked, you know what I'm talking about? But yeah, so I think it's a great fight because we have 2 high-profile fighters, but that's where it stops. I do not want to see a guy who's widely known and seen as a welterweight in Terrence Bud Crawford, no matter how great he is, go up to 175 and fight David Benavidez. And according to David Benavidez himself, he doesn't even want to take that fight.
Crawford will fight you if he beats Canelo.
Nah, I wouldn't fight Crawford. I'm at 175.
Yeah, but it's not even just for Bud. You could say, oh, he just doesn't see the money in Bud. Well, we all know that he was pursuing Cinnamon for a long time, to which some people would even say Cinnamon was ducking him. Which I disagree, but you know, it could look like that from the optics. You know, it does look like that, but we know that if Canelo wanted to fight him, then he would have got the fight. So we do know that as well. But he said this in regards to fighting Cinnamon in the same interview. Check it out.
I don't think a fight with me and Canelo would ever happen at 168. I want to go back to 160. I'm good at 175.
Yeah, so even if he was fighting Canelo, he said that he would only fight him at 175. He's not interested in going back down. So that's basically telling you that, oh, if I fight Terrence Bud Crawford, or if I fight Canelo Alvarez, or if I fight Naoya Inoue, it's going to be at 175 because he's not going back to 168. Now, I will say this. Let's be fair, right? Because Terrence Bud Crawford also said some years ago in the past that he couldn't see himself fighting Canelo, and things changed. And I will be honest, though, I don't really change much. I stand firm in my footing, you know. Those of you that have been accustomed to this channel and familiar with this channel, you know that I wasn't too excited about Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo. And not because I don't like the fight. Both of these guys are 2 of my favorite fighters, with Canelo being my #1 favorite fighter, Bud's he's in my top 5 as far as favorites. You know, I like Gervonta Tank Davis, David Benavidez, Junto Nakatani. I like a lot of people, right, as far as my favorite fighters go. But I didn't want to see them fight, not because I like them. I'm excited to see them fight because I like them, because they're both great. But I just thought the weight class was too much, the weight disparity. You know, I like weight classes, and I don't mind somebody going up 1 or 2 weight classes. But Terrence Bud Crawford, like I said, outside of his debut at 154, where he beat the undefeated champion in Israel Madrimov, which was phenomenal, that's a phenomenal feat in itself. I look at him as a 147-pound guy. So to me, he was moving up 3 weight classes. But he did, like I said, what I thought was unimaginable, and he beat Saul Canelo Alvarez in a great fight. That was a legacy fight. A lot of people said, oh, he was just chasing the money, and now he did it. Where you at now? You quiet. You see what I'm saying? Even though I thought Cinnamon was going to win, I never counted out Bud. I always said if anybody could do it, it would be Budrick. But me, I'm going with the bigger guy. So with that same mindset, I would go with David Benavidez if this hypothetical, nonsensical fight was to ever come into fruition, right?
Okay, well, check this out, though. First of all, you're throwing too many big words at me, okay? Now, because I don't understand them, I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth.
Turki Alalshikh, he really wants it. And a lot of times, what Turki Alalshikh wants in the realm of boxing, he gets. So I'm not saying it's outside the realm of possibility. I'm just saying that I don't think that it's has a high probability of happening, especially when you have Terrence Bud Crawford's trainer, Bomac, saying this.
He has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terrence Crawford. No, I ain't doing that fight.
Yeah, so he basically shut down the fight. But once again, like I said, these are all stances made prior to Turki Alalshikh really meeting with them and advocating for the fight. Right now it's just an idea, so you never know what could come into fruition in the future. But for me, the reason why I don't really want is because I think there's more intriguing fights at their own weight divisions or closer to their own. Like, let's start off with David Benavidez. Like, I would rather him fight Bivol or Beterbiev, more than I want to see him fight Bud. But like I said, if they want to make it happen, make it happen. And with Bud on the other side, I would much rather see Bud fight some champions at 154 or maybe even go to 160 and fight Janibek, Adames, and Lara. And he even said in the post-fight interview after beating Canelo that he would consider going to middleweight, 160. That's where he wants to go next. Now, like I said, times change and feelings change as time progresses. So you never know what's going to happen. But for me, I just think that it's ridiculous that anybody's saying that Bud should fight David Benavidez or Dimitri Bivol next. It's like, bro, like, just because Dimitri Bivol beat Canelo, you want him to fight the man that beat the man just because he also beat the man in Canelo? Like, I just think it's kind of ridiculous. Like, I think people are, that's how people get. They try to masquerade their hate for boxing fandom. No, you just want Terrence Crawford to keep going until you see him lose. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that him versus, I'm not saying that I'm scared for him. Absolutely not. I think Bud has showed us that he can do whatever he puts his mind to, and especially with him and Bomac, they're geniuses, masterminds, and he's a highly skilled fighter on top of that. Elite level fighter, all-time great. But what I'm saying is that sometimes it does get too much. I mean, if you want to see Terrence Crawford versus David Benavidez, I mean, what do you want David Benavidez after that to do? You want him to go fight Alexander Usyk? Yeah. Because that's about just as ridiculous. You want to just jump to heavyweight right now and just go fight Usyk next, right? And then, and forget that. How about let's have Nia Inoue fight Gervonta Tank Davis next, right? Just forget about 126 or forget about 130. Let's go right to 135 and fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Like, that's how ridiculous it sounds. You know what I'm saying? Just because these fighters are great, don't put them in impossible, unrealistic situations because you want to see some freaking gladiator Roman Empire type sport, man. Go watch the movies and see Russell Crowe fight tigers and lions and bears.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Like this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep some type of realism with our fandom. I know the word fan is short for fanatic, but you don't have to be fanatical about everything because then you just start sounding dumb. You see what I'm saying? However, I will say this once again. I don't think it should happen because I could think of better fights for Terrence Bud Crawford at 160 or 154 or even at 168. I don't really like those fights either, but even at 168, I think there's better fights as opposed to going to 175. And then David Benavidez, I could think of a lot of fights that are better for him that I think would be more interesting and intriguing and more appropriate for him in Callum Smith or Beterbiev or Bivol or maybe even a Japataya at cruiserweight, which is one division above. But people are talking about people jumping divisions like divisions don't matter. Yes, no, divisions matter. They always matter. That's why divisions are separated by weight. So, you know what I'm saying? So weight divisions do matter. Size does matter. But sometimes you have a 1 in a million guy or generational talent like Terrence Bud Crawford that could go and traverse through the different weight classes and divisions seemingly. I mean, and it seems like he's doing it seamlessly. But this is an amazing feat, man. Let's not get carried away, So when you see Roy Jones go through different weight classes or you see Pacquiao go through different weight classes, that's just amazing. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that weight divisions don't matter. Yes, man. Weight matters. Skills matter. Reach matters. Chin matters. Offense matters. Footwork matters. There's a whole a plethora of things that matter, you know what I'm saying, that contribute to winning a fight, man. So shout out to Terrence Bud Crawford. If he wants to make Benavidez, then I'm gonna believe that he's doing it because he believes that he could win. But other than that, I mean, jumping up from to 175 after you just made a significant jump to 168, I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like, we got to remember that this guy was also at 130 at a point in time. You know what I'm talking about? So, but yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Do you think I'm tripping? Do you think Bud should fight Benavidez? Do you think Benavidez should fight Bud? Or would you like them to kind of get back to what boxing truly is, and let's not make ridiculous propositions for these fighters, you know what I'm saying? And just appreciate the greatness while we watch it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop the comments below. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.